middle-aged men or as a teenager?
Well, whether as a teenager, that's where I do not agree that we're suffering through or we're suffering from back pain. You cannot be suffering from a back pain at the age of 50. And the truth of the matter is that when we find ourselves at the age of 50 is unacceptable. But we've got there and we're moving on. And we should now move on. And it's still not late for us if we have visionary leadership. Like I said earlier on, the reason we find ourselves here is because we've gotten our leadership wrong. We can still get it right.
But I need to bring in Mr. Makonjola just to round off this particular segment. You started off by saying it's a conspiracy, and I think we've kind of gone back and forth as to where the problem might be, which is visionary leadership. Or can you just find somebody amongst 150 million people that can come up with that kind of leadership?
I believe that God gives a country the leader it deserves. And everybody blaming leadership, they're not blaming followership. There's a problem, and that problem is the leaders of Nigeria are not giving the followership the opportunity to earn a living. They seem to have cornered everything.
What can the followership do then? What can they do?
There's so much to be done in this country, but most people don't know what to do.
Okay. Now, after we come back, we'll have to go one after the other so you can tell us how you did it, because all of you did it against the odds, and I think we all like to learn to see how we can do it against all the odds. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As a Nigerian leader, what do you want to achieve as Nigerian leader? If you don't see your people suffering and you want to address yourself to the causes of that suffering, that you are more interested in the position than in the responsibilities attaching to that position, that is what I think is wrong.
Okay, before we went on break, we were talking about people getting the leadership that they deserve. And I was of the opinion that from what one can see of Nigerians, there is a great determination to do things differently. That is from the people. And the leadership is, at the top, and the people are kind of the great swith in the bottom. Some would argue that they're not getting the leadership that they deserve because there's a great hunger to get something different. Now I want to come back to all of you, because despite all the odds and all the challenges that we've talked about, you've managed to be very successful in businesses in various sectors. So let's start with you, Mr. Makonjola. There are many people here who would like to set up their own small businesses, medium-sized businesses. What would you say to them? How can you do it in spite of these challenges that we have?
I think the first thing one must do is plan. They say if you plan, you will succeed. But if you fail to plan, then you have planned to fail. So proper planning is very essential. But that's not the only key. You do need the necessary infrastructures. And one other thing I wanted to say about unemployment, government needs to do something about that, particularly our young graduates who are roaming the streets. They can actually power this nation for us. If you give me 100,000 unemployed graduates today, and government is ready to assist them, 100,000 graduates can generate more than 10,000 megawatts of electricity in the next 1 year.
But how? I think that
the way they can do it is this. If you bring in a solar panel, the solar battery, and the inverter, you can empower each person to generate 50 kilowatts into the grid system. And this grid system will be metered. There's what we call smart grid metering. And then government will pay you, or if government is still in charge of electricity, I understand by next year, government is going to hand over to the private sector. If they do, that's a great opportunity for you out there who wants to start a business of your own. And you'll be able to do this.
Thierry, I see that's fantastic. Thank you. I see already, I can see like a whole army of small entrepreneurs all supplying power to their various little communities. I think that's a fantastic idea. But what do you think they can do in the financial sector? Is there any other gem of opportunity in the financial sector that can be?
People issues sometimes can be one of the major, if not the most significant component for failure in companies, whether it is value assignment, value alignment or misalignment, or basically competency, skill-related issues. Now, when we developed our business plan, 6 months, and went to the board and told the board that if you give me the go-ahead, there is hope for this company. 3 years into the business, the company became profitable. This is its 3rd year of profitability.
Essentially, your business model should be such that you make money.
Correct.
Because, you know, it seems obvious.
Right.
But once you start putting these things together, the passion takes over and you forget the main reason for getting into business, which is to make money.
Right.
Let me come to you, Dr. Awosida. What is the most important ingredient in making a business successful?
First and foremost, you must have the vision for that business, and you must understand the business that you're going into thoroughly. Otherwise, you might be cheated in the business you think you understand that you're going into. If we didn't start Goshen, for example, Lekki Axis will probably not be there today. But we started Goshen, we did Goshen, and it's the first estate with such manner of houses. No private sector, no private man, no private development company, only indigenous has done such houses in such sizes. But the government is better off for it today, because almost immediately Lekki Axis busted, and Lekki Axis has remained the most dynamic axis in West Africa. That's by WHO report. Because one man blazed the trail to develop